Okay, Mayor Potter is stuck in traffic, so I'm going to read us in to today's meeting. So today, Monday, November 4th at 4:30, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Barron?
Here.
Councilmember Dramoff?
Here.
Councilmember Ferlito?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Richards?
Here. Okay.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. So we just concluded an inspection. Do we want to, any comments on that, or what do we?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to thank the Public Works staff and the planning staff who were involved in the Rio Park, the Mission Trail Nature Preserve project. And I think that, it was a good public partnership with state parks under that grant. And we had a good field trip for those of you who couldn't attend with the Forest and Beach Commission and several members of the public. So thank you.
Other comments?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment. This project was a long time coming. I think at least it was before I went on council, it came up as a possible project for a granting from the state, and it has turned out to be better than I ever imagined. And I think when winter sets in and we have lots of rainstorms, we will be down there monitoring it, I assume, to make sure it's all draining as properly. But I do have one concern. I'm in that preserve almost every day, and it's been pretty customary for people to park their cars on Rio Road, open their car and let the dog run, and the dog runs into the park and immediately goes to that grassy area, which is now all planted with native plants, and they do some damages sometimes. And I was just wondering if there's any way possible to, at least until some of those plants get established, to do some sort of protective fencing around some of them, because it's going to be a beautiful project, and it could be ruined very quickly by dog urine and dog feces and trampling. So that's just a suggestion. If we have some extra fencing, that we could give it a head start.
Mm-hmm. Good. Anybody else? Good. Well, I'd like to just add, it's funny, I wasn't really keen on this project when we voted on it, and I'm really happy to see it now. I think it turned out beautiful. I am blown away by how fast the city staff and help that we had got that done, and it's a great project, and so it was really nice to get out there and see it, to see what has happened so far. It looks great, and I think it's going to be beneficial to the trail and to the city. So thank you all that helped. Okay, with that, I'd like to open it up to any public comments tonight. Anything that's not on the consent agenda item that people would like to come up and talk to. Anyone? Shotzi? Anybody hands?
There's no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, so I'll close public comment, our public appearances, and there he is. Welcome to Mayor Potter. But so we're going to go into closed session for a couple different items, and I'll have Mr. Pierrick read us in. I do want to acknowledge that we did receive one letter concerning one of tonight's topics during our closed session, and I'd just like to remind people that when we're doing property negotiations, that is a closed session item. There's only 3 closed session items that fall under the reason why we have a closed session, and property negotiations is one of them. So with that, Mayor?
We didn't do consent
We need to do
agenda.
consent. And we need to do the consent agenda.
Yeah, but the Mayor's going to.
Right, understood.
All right, we have the consent calendar before us. Is there anybody in council wishing to pull an item?
I'd just like to pull number 2 for a comment,
I
question.
think we have it here, Mayor.
All right. Okay, so then is there anybody in the public wishing to pull an item? Anybody on Zoom?
No.
All right, can we have a motion to approve the balance of consent except for item number 2?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, oops, could we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember Barron?
Yes.
Councilmember Dramoff?
Yes.
Councilmember Ferlito?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Richards?
Yes.
Mayor Potter?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, comments on number 2?
Yes, comments on number 2. I read the monthly reports with great vigor, and I wanted to ask Chief Tomasi. I noticed that some of the responses that were a little longer the informational piece was that it was an early morning call. Could you sort of tell me what that is?
Yes, as requested in previous months, you're looking for a little bit more information on the drop downs that we have. So I can elaborate when it's an early morning. That means our firefighters or paramedics are waking up, and there's certain functions that have to take place before they can hop in an ambulance and go to a call. So that would be a delay in that. And that's as much detail as I think I need to give. So
Okay,
hopefully.
and then the second part is it just seems to me, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that we have more and more and more calls that are out of Carmel-by-the-Sea. And that's because we have an agreement to serve. But I mean, all the way down to Palo, Colorado, and all the way out to Carmel Valley. And so do we keep track of how many calls we're doing out of the city limits?
We do. We do have an agreement with the county to act as the closest responding ambulance. That's something that we worked into an agreement, I think back in 2012 or 13 with the county to do that, because we want to make sure that if somebody has a medical emergency outside the city that we can get there. So we work in conjunction with the county with having systems in our ambulance that let the county know where we are at all times, just like their ambulances, AMR. So as a part of that entire system, we can be deployed as the closest ambulance, and that might take us all the way down to Big Sur or further as that ambulance. Yeah, and that's the system we're in. We have about 2/3 of all of our calls are outside the city because of the system we're in.
So then when our ambulance with our drivers who are familiar are in Big Sur or Carmel Valley, then we're serviced by the other.
It'll be
facility.
AMR or even Mid-Valley, yes.
Okay. And depending on where they are, that will determine how soon they get here.
Correct, yes.
Now, do they ever move closer if we're gone?
Yeah, just like the fire department, they do staging, so they'll position themselves closer to our city if our ambulance moves out. It's part of a whole rotation that the ambulance does, just like fire trucks. The fire system's set up the same way.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Paul, while you're up there,
Go ahead.
I just was going to say, you may want to mention that we do get reimbursed for those calls if we go on.
We do.
The insurance.
Yeah, part of our reimbursement for transports, anything outside the city, just like in the city, we get reimbursed through our provider. So there is revenue that we generate by doing that. Good point, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
So Karen, would you like to make a motion to approve that item then?
Yes, I move approval of item number 2.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second?
Nova, can we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember Barron?
Yes.
Councilmember Dramoff?
Yes.
Councilmember Ferlito?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Richards?
Yes.
Mayor Potter?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, that completes our work. Council, would you like to read us into closed session? I'll ask for public comment in closed session.
Yes, we have a closed session, a conference with real property negotiators. That's pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. The property is Rio Park, east of Dolores Street and Lawson Drive. The APN number is in the agenda. The agency negotiators are the city administrator and city attorney. The negotiating parties are the Carmel Area Wastewater District. And we have a second closed session today, and that is a conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The agency designated representatives are listed in the agenda, and the employee organization is LIUNA General Unit Library Staff.
Is there anybody in the public wishing to speak to these items? Anybody in the public on the Zoom?
There's no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we'll go to the closed session, then we can convene afterwards.